Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, guys. Let's take a look again on euro currency. So we're coming to major event, maybe even of this year. So will be the voting on the Brexit on Tuesday, and that really will be a big event for forex market, not only for euro but also for the Great British Pound and other currencies, because this factor is strong enough to push market out from the deadly point of consolidation where it stands right now. So we bring very good material on this subject in our forum and our weekly report. So if you're interested with it, you could read it. And currently, guys, the technical analysis maybe is a thankless work, because we could analyze the market from the technical issues, but currently, as bulls as the bears mostly stand in equal position, because nobody knows what will happen with the Brexit. And how it will impact on the market. But what we do know is that this will be a very tricky moment, because the results of the voting should be released somewhere between the United States closing session and Tokyo opening time in the night, and that will be most thin market within the session. And as you know, the combining of the strong volatility with low liquidity could really make the miracle impact on the quotes on the price rate. So traders starts preparation to this, and this is some rush stands around this, and traders changing their daily schedule to stay in the office and the trading place to waiting the results and trading this event. So this is really big talks right now stands around it. So I'm trying not to gamble on the results on the factors that stands out with the control. And currently, the most wide opinion is that the Brexit voting will fail in the parliament. So at the same time, if you'll take the broader view on this subject, the splitting of the European Union and the United Kingdom stands in a trend of the global political shifts that we see across the Europe and in the world. So the United Kingdom is the historical ally of the United States. It was with the United States every time, and it should stay with the United States. While the European Union right now, it seems some tensions stands in agreement with the United States. And from that standpoint, from the broader picture, the splitting of the United Kingdom and the European Union looks reasonable. That's why if I would bet on this event, I would try to bet on the splitting, so that this voting will pass. And that really could lead to extreme action. So different assessments exist on what price action could happen after that. So you could read about all this stuff in our weekly report. Speaking on the technical issues, right now our technical view mostly gravitates to the bearish scenario. So actually this is not a surprise. We talked about it within the whole week on the previous week. Just bring some new inputs that we have. First of all, if we'll take a look at the weekly chart, on this spike up, we've got bearish grabber on the weekly chart as well. So we have the bearish grabber here, and we have the bearish grabber right now here. All of them suggest the drop first below the B point is minor grabber, and the greater grabber suggests the taking out of these lows. Since we have the major fib support 1185, and potentially here we could get butterfly pattern even, but currently I put here just the ABCD. So the minimal result of this could be wash and rinse of these lows, hitting with 1185. But potentially, ultimately, that could become the butterfly with the further drop on the market. We will talk about in the corresponding time, but currently we are watching mostly for this possible action. The reasons why we think so, we already also explained many times. So first of all, we do not see adequate price action here, where it should be straightforward. Instead of that, we see some spike up, very choppy action, no thrusting action, no ability of the market to continue move high. Every time when the market hits 114 area, the new sell-off happens and market returns right back down. So this is not typical for a market that stands in extension mode, because we had the thrusting action extension, retracement, major retracement has been completed. Here it should become extension. So we did not see it yet. And that's why our opinion mostly gravitates to bearish continuation here on the market. At the same time, it was really hot discussion, guys, on this week on the forum, because it was contradictory opinions. Some traders talk about the bullish continuation, others sense the bearish view. That is just because market actually keeps valid both scenarios. So this is the bearish scenario that I show you, but at the same time, you could see on the 4-hour time frame chart that the bullish scenario also has not been vanished yet. And that happens because market keeps valid major invalidation points. So for a bearish scenario, the major invalidation points stands at A point. Only if market will take it out of it, all this stuff will be crushed and we start watching for upward action. At the same time, for the bullish scenario, invalidation point stands right here. And since market keeps the C point valid, it also exists the bullish view that indeed market could continue to move higher and take a look. We have the A, B, C bottom. OP target is on 1520. Also, we have the butterfly. So since market stands above the C point, the butterfly is possible. But here, guys, what I don't like is take a look at this price action. It's too choppy. This is not kind of the thrusting action. This is definitely has the features of some consolidation or retracement. And after this thrust, you expect to get this continuation of this leg, but we did not have it. Besides yesterday, as you can see, market barely was able to complete the COP target of the same ABCD patient. CD leg here is very slow compared to AB leg. And also market still stands in the same consolidation between the two channels that we have talked about on Friday. So actually that was a kind of the failure breakout of this trend line. This market returned big down. If you will take a look at the hourly chart, you will see the collapse that has followed right to the close of the week. So you can see what has happened. That confirms what we said about the results of the non-farm payrolls release. The first glance, it looks dollar contradictive, but in fact, it is dollar supportive because it shows the good inflation. And despite that the numbers are less than expected, they are not very important. The numbers itself currently takes the secondary place. Now, more important is the inflation that stands in the wages. And they shows increasing in November. It shows inflation more than it was expected. So putting all this stuff together, you could, and you probably have your own view on the market right now. And if you would like to take the short position, you would still would like to take the part in the Brexit voting trading. That's actually, guys, the major question. It's not the direction, but currently you should decide whether you would like to take part in this stuff or not. Because that will be really doom and gloom, I suppose, and it's really very volatile election. So when I traded the United Kingdom elections, I decreased my position on the 10 times and placed far stop, and that has worked. So the same thing I advise you to do in this case. So if you intend to trade the voting, decrease your position significantly. Just put the stop higher or far. Just not be washed out by the volatility. So from the bearish point of view, this is relatively simple. If you'd like to take it, you could watch for some bearish continuation patterns here. That could be, for example, hand shoulders here could be formed with this retracement up to the 1405 area. Maybe market simultaneously will form got this cheaper to sell with the initial stops above the OP target. So you can see here we have actually ABCD pattern. So OP has not been hit. That's why it's better to place stop above it. But it will be better if you decrease your position and put stops somewhere above the confidence resistance on the daily chart. That is, if you would like to take part in a big game, you should be ready for big events that could happen. And that's why I mostly recommend to drop your position significantly so the risk will stay the same in absolute value, I mean in dollars. But you could hold this potential action against you. So that's what about the bearish positions. If you're bullish, you have bullish view, your task is take the position as closer to the C point as possible. Maybe you should wait for a sell off or stop. Unfortunately, here hardly we will get any other bullish patterns that could be formed, another additional bullish patterns, because all patterns that we have is just butterfly. It already stands in place. That's why your major point is the these lows. While they stand, theoretical chances on upward action exist. So that's why it's your task trying to take the position as close to these lows as possible, just to minimize your risk. So what I would like to say is that good luck to everybody, those who would like to trade on Tuesday night. This will be a really big event for the markets. Speaking on other issues, we will get also European Central Bank meeting on Thursday and some important United States statistics. This will be retail sales and consumer prices. So, but they're not as important as the voting. So let's see what we will get, guys.